fight. So I'm not gonna, I never like just sat there, but we would definitely fight. I was pregnant, and so at 7 months pregnant, I was terrified. I was like, I cannot bring a person into this. This is a freaking mess. Like, this is a mess, and I can't control this. I gotta get out.
What Kelis finally admitted changes everything. At 44, the Milkshake singer is pulling back the curtain on years of betrayal, abuse, and silence that nearly destroyed her career and spirit.
She's one issue because it was stupid and disrespectful, and she should have at least reached out. The reality is, is that my real beef is not only with Beyoncé, because at the end of the day, she sampled a record, she's copied me before, she's done it before, so have many other artists.
From being financially tricked by Pharrell Williams and Hugo of the Neptunes, to enduring emotional and physical abuse in her marriage to Nas, Kelis says she was shut out, blackballed, and branded difficult.
For all of our properties and stuff, I would always put the money down, and then he would pay the mortgage. That was our agreement.
Let's delve in. Kelis was a big name in the early 2000s. Her music was different from everyone else. She mixed R&B and hip-hop in a way that felt fresh and bold. Songs like Milkshake,
my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
caught out there, and Bossy made her stand out. People loved her voice and her style. She wore colorful clothes and bright hair, and she didn't follow the rules. She spoke her mind and showed strong confidence. Many young women looked up to her. She gave them the strength to be themselves. She wasn't just a singer, she was a trendsetter. But after her big hits, something strange happened. Kelis slowly disappeared from the spotlight. Many people thought she quit music, but that's not true. She didn't give up, she was pushed out. The music world didn't treat her fairly. She was part of a system that didn't protect her. Even though she helped make R&B and hip-hop fresh and exciting, the people in power didn't support her. She spoke out about how she didn't get paid fairly. She said she didn't get credit for some of her songs. She worked hard, but others made money from her work. One of the names that has repeatedly come up was Jay-Z. Because of this leadership, it didn't just influence business. It shaped careers, politics, and reputations behind closed doors. Insiders say that Jay-Z's control, though quiet and calculated, made or broke artists, especially women who didn't play the game. Kelis was a rising star, but her refusal to attend elite parties, befriend the right executives, or sign hush-hush NDA agreements made her a target. At the time, Kelis was signed through Virgin Star Trek and later Jive. But the umbrella that covered all these branches was ultimately connected to the Def Jam system, where Jay-Z reigned at the top. According to some industry insiders, Jay-Z didn't always move with direct action. He used quiet influence. A phone call here, a decision not to push a record there, a suggestion that someone was difficult. These kinds of subtle moves could stall a career without leaving fingerprints. Kelis, who has always been outspoken about her mistreatment in the industry, has hinted that her career was quietly sabotaged by people who claimed to protect her. Adding more fuel to the fire was her high-profile marriage to Nas.
We got married before our wedding, so we were already married by the time we...
Before you had the ceremony and all that.
Yeah, like
and the green
way
dress
before
and all
that.
that. Okay.
By then, Nas was already deep in a feud with Jay-Z that had become legendary in hip-hop history. The tension between the two rappers dated back to 1996, when Nas failed to show up for a studio session with Jay-Z for his debut album, Reasonable Doubt. In retaliation or tribute, Jay sampled Nas's voice on Dead Presidents 2. That same year, Nas released It Was Written, opening with the cryptic line, "Lex with TV sets the minimum," a statement widely interpreted as a veiled shot at Jay, who had famously mentioned Lexuses in his lyrics and videos. Though Nas later explained that the line was inspired by Jay-Z, not intended as a diss, the seed had already been planted. By 1997, Jay-Z began responding more directly. His lyric, "Who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas on Where I'm From," was interpreted as both a challenge and a warning shot. After Biggie's death in March that year, The race for New York's crown narrowed to just two, Jay and Nas.
Just pull your card and argue all day about who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
The beef eventually reached its ugliest moment in 2001 when Jay-Z released Super Ugly, in which he bragged about sleeping with Nas's girlfriend, Carmen Bryan.
Me and the boy AI got more in common than just ballin' and rhyming. Get it? More in common.
The line caused so much backlash that Jay's own mother, Gloria Carter, called into Hot 97 and urged him to apologize.
You got a baby by the bra, you can't disown her yet. When is your lies end? When is the truth begin?
He did, but the damage was done. Nas responded with Ether, a diss track that many believe handed him the victory in their battle. New York radio stations fueled the fire, asking listeners to vote on who won. 58% chose Nas.
What's up, niggas? Hey, yo, I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You? What?
This bitter rivalry wasn't just about lyrics. When Jay-Z took control of Def Jam, the feud carried real consequences. Nas still had industry clout, but his wife Kelis became a liability by association. Some believe that Jay-Z's leadership marked the beginning of a silent blacklist, an informal list of artists considered too honest, too outspoken, or simply non-compliant. Kelis, with her refusal to bend to industry norms, found herself on that list. In later interviews, Kelis expressed how those in the industry who promised to protect her ended up hurting her the most. The music industry was not built for women who tell the truth, she said. Her words echoed the experience of many female artists at the time who found that honesty and independence came at a cost. If you didn't play nice, or worse, if you were tied to someone the wrong people disliked, your career could be slowly suffocated. Jay-Z, meanwhile, built an empire. After leaving Def Jam, he expanded Roc Nation into a powerhouse for artists, athletes, and businesses. His reputation as a mogul grew, and his narrative evolved into that of a calculated businessman who learned to move like a CEO.
In February, Jay-Z sold 50% of his stake in brand Armand de Brignac to luxury goods giant LVMH in a deal Forbes estimates to be worth $630 million.
But for some, like Kelis, the silent decisions made in those boardrooms left permanent scars. Kelis later said that she didn't own her own music. She trusted people who didn't treat her right. They took control of her songs and her money. She felt used and hurt. Even when she tried to come back, the industry didn't welcome her. It was like they shut the door. Kelis didn't fall off because she was lazy or weak. She was boxed out by a system that didn't care about her voice. Even today, many people say she should be given more respect. She helped shape the music, but the music world didn't give her what she truly deserved. In 2003, Kelis made a big hit song called Milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
You've probably heard the line, "My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard." It was everywhere. The song was fun, catchy, and played on the radio all the time. People danced to it, laughed, and enjoyed it. But what many people didn't know was that Kelis did not own the rights to that song. Even though she sang it and helped make it famous, she didn't make money from it the way people thought she would. The song was written and owned by two music producers named Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo.
The song was already done. Maybe just a beat. It probably doesn't need anything.
They are known as the Neptunes. They worked with Kelis early in her career. But Kelis has said before that she didn't get treated fairly by them and didn't understand the contracts she signed. She said they tricked her and that she didn't get the credit or the money she deserved. In 2022, Beyoncé came out with a new album called Renaissance. One of the songs on that album was called Energy. In that song, Beyoncé used a short piece from Kelis's song Milkshake. This kind of thing is called interpolation. So Beyoncé didn't use Kelis's real voice, but she sang a small part that sounded like Kelis's famous "La La La" line. She gave credit to Pharrell and Chad Hugo for the original song, but not to Kelis because, legally, Kelis didn't own the song. When Kelis found out about this, she was very upset. She said no one told her that part of her song would be used. She said she found out at the same time as the public did, after the album was already out. She made a post on Instagram saying she was shocked and angry. She said it was very disrespectful and that the people involved showed no kindness or honesty. Kelis said that Pharrell, Chad Hugo, and Beyoncé were all part of the problem. She said the music business often uses women, especially black women, and then forgets about them. She didn't like the way she was left out of something she helped create.
People like Pharrell and like Chad, who Chad really is like an amoeba and just he's spineless. It's a miracle he can keep his neck up. But Pharrell knows better. This is a direct hit at me. He does this stuff all the time. It's very petty.
Kelis made it clear that she wasn't just mad at Beyoncé. She said Beyoncé had sampled her work before, and so had other artists. But this time felt different. She said that as two black women in the music industry, Beyoncé should have contacted her. Kelis said that they knew each other and had mutual friends, so it would have been easy to call or send a message. She believed Beyoncé should have done the right thing and asked first. She said, "It's not hard to keep in contact." Kelis felt hurt and said that what Beyoncé did was not respectful. She felt erased from her own work.
She's one issue because it was stupid and disrespectful and she should have at least reached out. The reality is, is that my real beef is not only with Beyoncé, because at the end of the day, she sampled a record, she's copied me before, she's done it before, so have many other artists.
A few days after Kelis spoke out, something changed. The part of the song Energy that had the Milkshake bit was removed from some music platforms like Tidal and Apple Music. Fans noticed that the part was gone. It seemed like Beyoncé had quietly taken it out after the drama. But on Spotify, it was still there for a while. People started talking about it online. Some fans said Beyoncé did the right thing by removing the sample. Others felt the damage was already done. Kelis's voice was not wanted in the mainstream anymore, and that felt painful to her supporters. Some people think Beyoncé used the Milkshake part on purpose to make a point. Maybe she wanted to remind people that Pharrell and Chad Hugo owned it. Maybe it was her way of taking control of the song. Or maybe it was a little jab at Kelis, who has always been strong and independent and didn't want to be part of the music system that controls so many artists. Whatever the reason, Kelis's angry reaction made it clear she was not going to stay quiet. But in doing so, it might have made her more isolated in the music world. Kelis has talked before about how she felt cheated early in her career. She said Pharrell and Chad Hugo lied to her about how the money would be shared. She said she was young and didn't understand the business. She trusted people she thought were her friends, but in the end, she says she got nothing from songs she helped create. In a 2020 interview, Kelis revealed she was promised an equal split, 33, 33, 33, for her early music work with them. But that promise was never kept. Instead, she says she never received any royalties at all.
So we've got Pharrell, who did an interview, I think last year, talking about artists' rights and how people should be able to rework their deals and artists should be getting credit for what they've done and all this stuff. Where in reality, when I was signed to him, I had the same manager that he had, and he has writing credits on my records, all my singles, coincidentally.
According to Kelis, Pharrell and his team tricked her into signing contracts early in her career, taking full ownership of her masters and publishing rights. When she later confronted them, she says they dismissed her as being emotional and avoided addressing the issue publicly. While Pharrell continued to rise in fame and power, Kelis's career began to stall. She believes a bigger industry machine was working behind the scenes to silence her and protect their own interests. Pharrell and Chad Hugo stayed quiet while she struggled, leaving many to wonder if her trust was deliberately broken for profit. So when she saw Beyoncé using Milkshake without even talking to her first, all those old feelings came back. She She said, "It's not about Beyoncé, it's about how the industry uses and erases women." She wanted people to understand that her fight was bigger than just one song.
She's one issue because it was stupid and disrespectful and she should have at least reached out. The reality is, okay, is that my real beef is not only with Beyonce, because at the end of the day, she sampled a record, she's copied me before, she's done it before, so have many other artists.
On Instagram, Kelis said, "No, it's not a collaboration, it's called thievery." She felt that real teamwork means you work together and talk things out. She said Beyoncé talks a lot about empowering women, but this didn't feel empowering to her. Kelis said, "All of the stuff she sings about, all this empowerment stuff, I don't talk about it. I am about it." She felt that Beyoncé's actions didn't match her words. Kelis believes you can't just say you support women, you have to actually do it. Beyoncé is known for giving credit to many people in her music. Her albums usually list every person who worked on each song. That includes writers, singers, producers, and sometimes even people whose music was sampled. That's why some people were surprised by what happened with Kelis. But others pointed out that Kelis wasn't legally the owner of Milkshake, so Beyoncé didn't have to ask her. The law said she only had to credit the writers, and that's what she did. But Kelis said it wasn't just about the law, it was about doing what's right. Kelis felt that even though Beyoncé didn't break the law, she still did something wrong by not reaching out. She said, "It's not that hard. We know each other. We've been around each other." For Kelis, this wasn't just business, it was personal. She believed she deserved more respect, especially from another Black woman artist. She wanted to be treated like a human being, not just a voice from the past.
We got married before our wedding, so we were already married by the time we...
Before you had the ceremony and all that.
Yeah, like
and the green
way
dress
before
and all
that.
that. Okay.
When Kelis spoke out in 2018 about her abusive relationship with rapper Nas, many were shocked. But the music industry stayed silent. Her story wasn't just about pain behind closed doors. It was about how the industry treats women who speak up, especially when their abuser is someone powerful and protected.
She saw it was like we were going to crash and burn, which we did, so thanks, Mom.
Kelis and Nas were once hip-hop's golden couple. They married in 2005, but behind the scenes, things were falling apart. Kelis later revealed the truth. "I was covered in bruises. It was really dark." She said the relationship was filled with violence, emotional damage, and heavy drinking. They would fight, and both admitted to hitting each other. But Kelis made it clear, Nas's drinking made things dangerous. He would black out, and sometimes they wouldn't even remember what happened the night before. They would argue, then he'd buy her gifts to make up for it. Then the cycle would start all over again.
We would fight. So I'm not gonna, I never like just sat there, but we would definitely fight.
Kelis explained that she didn't leave just because of cheating. Nas had been unfaithful for 2 years, and she knew. But that wasn't the breaking point. The constant emotional stress, the violence, and the feeling of being unsafe finally pushed her away. It wasn't until she got pregnant that she realized she needed to escape. "God is good," she said, because that pregnancy helped her think beyond herself. She filed for divorce in April 2009. Her son, Knight, was born that July. But even after leaving Nas, things didn't get easier. There were still fights about money, custody, and control. Kelis struggled financially. She said Nas was ordered to pay $8,000 in child support each month, but even getting that was a battle.
I was pregnant, and so at 7 months pregnant, I was terrified. I was like, I cannot bring a person into this. This is a freaking mess. Like, this is a mess, and I can't control this. I gotta get out.
One of the most heartbreaking moments came when Kelis returned home and found a foreclosure notice on the door. Their house was about to be taken away. She had no idea the mortgage hadn't been paid. Kelis had gone to culinary school in 2008 and stopped touring while pregnant. Before that, she helped pay the down payments on their homes, and Nas was supposed to handle the mortgage. But he didn't. When she asked him about it, he told her, "Go expletive yourself." She said that kind of cold response became normal.
for all of our properties and stuff, I would always put the money down and then he would pay the mortgage. That was our agreement.
Even worse, the music industry turned its back on her. Once Kelis began to speak out, the phone stopped ringing. Labels didn't want to meet with her. Bookings dried up. She was suddenly labeled as difficult. Why? Because she had the courage to tell the truth about a man tied to major players like Jay-Z and Def Jam. Nas, on the other hand, stayed protected. When Nas finally responded publicly, he denied everything. "I do not beat women," he wrote on Instagram. He claimed Kelis was lying to get attention and that she was the abusive one. He said she was verbally and physically aggressive, even in front of their son. Nas said she didn't let him see night and insulted people around him. He also accused her of creating drama for fame and damaging their son with her actions.
So the whole story that like, you keep me from my child, really? When did that happen?
It became a battle of words, Kelis speaking her truth and Nas denying it all. But the bigger issue was how the music world reacted. Kelis wasn't just dealing with personal trauma. She was being shut out by an industry that often protects powerful men and punishes women who break the silence. What Kelis endured highlights a painful reality. Women, especially in entertainment, are often silenced or erased when they speak out against men with status. The message is clear. If you go against the grain, you may lose everything. Kelis's courage came at a high cost. She lost industry support, financial stability, and even peace of mind. But she stood up anyway. She told her story not to hurt Nas, but to help others understand what abuse can look like. Messy, confusing, and hidden behind fame. Kelis may have been iced out, but she didn't stay silent. And that takes more strength than any record deal ever could. Back to Jay-Z. Jay-Z's name rarely comes up when Kelis speaks, and yet he's everywhere in her story. He's never been directly blamed, but his quiet power in the industry tells a deeper tale. Jay-Z helped boost Pharrell's career by featuring on Frontin, co-signing the Neptunes sound, and partnering with Pharrell through Roc Nation deals. Kelis, who has accused Pharrell and Chad Hugo of cheating her out of her music rights and profits, found herself pushed aside as Pharrell's star rose, backed by Jay-Z's influence. Jay-Z also made peace with Nas, Kelis's ex-husband, even after Kelis shared abuse allegations against him. That public handshake between two legends cemented Nas's legacy, while Kelis's story was quietly ignored. Jay-Z represents the system that Kelis could never fully re-enter. After speaking up, she found doors closed. Her influence on style and sound was undeniable, but she wasn't welcomed back. Meanwhile, Jay-Z built the very empire that rewards silence and loyalty over truth. In today's music industry, more black women are sharing how powerful men protected abusers and ignored their voices. Kelis's story is a warning. She fought back too early. The world wasn't ready to hear her.